Kenya does not need a national therapy session. Sorry, we need a revolution. What is a revolution? A total overhaul of the current system. What system do we have? I'm not talking about the system that the Constitution provides. I'm talking about the corrupt system that the elites, the oligarchs, the political class use to actually make sure that they produce their kind and continue with this perpetual rule of oppression and everything that comes with it. Okay, this economic oppression, lack of justice, extrajudicial killing, extra constitutional means of putting people down, jailing them unjustifiably, so forth, so forth. You understand? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, and comrades, my name is Kenya Revolutionary. Karibu sana for another session. I'll be here maybe 1 hour, maybe less. Maybe I'll be here brief. I won't be here for long. It's late. I'm tired. It's late. Tottenham are playing PSG, and I don't know what the results is, but I missed the game, so I'm mad. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, karibu sana, grab a seat, have a seat. Kachini, we're about to have this discussion. We're about to just go through what's happening in Kenya. Sorry, I missed a couple of days. This morning I tried to go on, but some wale watu ambao wanafanyanga zile vitu, the NIS, the people that the Martha Karua followers, people who think it's their duty to make sure that they sabotage this channel because we don't paint a certain narrative. But nevertheless, karibuni sana everybody. If this is your first time, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, my name is Kenya Revolutionary. I talk about Kenyan politics and world politics as it relates to Kenya. Okay, so if you like that kind of stuff, please make your way here and subscribe, share, comment, do all the good stuff. You can always, give your 2 cents on the chat, or you can get in here, put your camera on. I'll throw in the link. You can get in and we can discuss, debate, and all that good stuff. If you've already subscribed and you've got the notification, or you're going to join in later or watch this on repeat, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, the first order of business. Like, share, comment, like the video. That's the first order of business. Let's get into it. The first news that I want to actually talk about is, before I get to the main mail, which is, Kenya does not need a national therapy session. We need a revolution. Now, again, let me define a revolution, because once we hear revolution, people just talk about, they imagine anarchy, bloodshed, okay, all this gory images of people bleeding and maimed, beaten up, violence. No, like I say, a revolution by the people can be something as simple as we going to the streets and demanding that Ruto resigns, or else, and we've refused to do everything until Ruto steps down, resigns, okay? It can be a peaceful revolution, peaceful, popular people's revolutionary movement, okay? It doesn't mean that revolution has to be bloody. Yes, majority of revolutions, successful ones that is, have been bloody, but there's some that have been relatively peaceful, okay? So karibuni sana. Let's get with the first clip that I want to play. This is the local nonsense. Gachagua versus Murkomen, whatever. So apparently Gachagua will be making his way back to Kenya. I don't know when, but it seems like he might be facing, the whole choreography. His supporters will be going to the airport to Wamlaki, and they'll probably, the same shenanigans that Raila used to pull when he used to go out of the country and come back, and his supporters will meet him at the airport and, follow him around to Uhuru Park and give a speech and all that nonsense. So maybe they're planning that sort of, return, okay? And the Murkomen folks are saying, what? If this happens, we are going to actually take, maybe they're planning. I don't know if they're planning, but it sounds like it. It sounds like the likes of Oscar Sudi, the way he's talking, he seems kind of smiffed, okay? Miffed, that is, perturbed. He's not happy about what Gachagua is saying. But I think this whole thing, like I said, it's choreographed, it's designed to give Gachagua political currency, okay? That's why you see the algorithm is all about Gachagua. It's all about Gachagua. This man is not saying anything new. He's just talking about one time Ruto must go, blah, 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 blah. Nothing substantive that can really help Kenyans. But let's start with Murkomen's nonsense that he said about Gachagua. Let's hear him out because, you know, we have to entertain this nonsense since it's making news. Let's go ahead and listen to Murkomen's little clip from Murkomen as he talked about, you know, Gachagua and all this stuff. All right, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, brothers.
Doubt. Sometimes they say that to handle matter security, people have to work in silence. We have heard of recent times utterances of national insecurity emanating from some of the politicians on the engagement of the deputy president in the US. And when he comes back, he responded to the dare by telling you people that he will tell you the time and the plane that he will. Can you respond to that dare without making it a national insecurity issue?
Well, basically, I thought that I said it clearly yesterday that it is him who voluntarily said that he has information about Kenyan authorities' engagement with Al-Shabaab and negotiating and doing business with Al-Shabaab and so forth. So I thought it's not even a question of being arrested. It is, if he is patriotic enough, he needs to record that statement with the DCI. And that should be the first opportunity is offered. In fact, I thought he was going to say he will tell us the time and the hour is going to arrive, and therefore DCI, prepare yourself, I will be in your office 2 hours after I land. It should behoove him at his position of authority to present himself directly to authorities and record a statement, not for anything else, for the record. Because if you are going to be making such allegations, it behooves you to make sure that it's on the record. And I said clearly that if you ask me increasingly, I'm not a doctor, but increasingly the utterances that come from Deputy President are pointing out to two things. Either is a serious or a pathological liar who is looking for cheap political publicity, or is an acute case of mental health, who perhaps will be unnecessary for us to spend resources to arrest, but rather to guide him and his loved ones to take him to a mental hospital. Because, and I'm saying this really because he says one thing this month, then he jumps to another. Yeah, he will wake up and tell you that I don't know if it was true, it was him or whatever. You know, I can't keep up with his lies. At one point, he will tell you that Kenya Kwanza bought all tickets for Harambee Stars to go to the to the field. The next minute, his deputy party leader is posting pictures from inside there. In any case, we even greeted each other with him and in Kasarani. On 1 minute, he will be saying that I will, you know how he praised his, when we came to office, he announced to the whole world that the coffers were empty. When he was asked recently, say no, they were not empty, I lied. And he's not telling people that he lied for the first time. So if he lied that time, who tells you that he's not lying now? But to be very honest, if he was still holding office, any reasonable Kenyan would have asked for a mental assessment for his ability to lead. But now that he's out of office, it is out of compassion that I ask his loved ones to check him in for mental health.
But if I may ask, why don't you handle this thing behind the curtains? Because the utterances in public spheres causes emotional instability among the population. Why can't it be handled in a more dignified way, other than the back and forth?
I think I need to talk to his doctor to handle it behind the scenes. In a dignified way, so that he doesn't keep making those attempts. And I thank you for that. Yeah.
All right. All right. Am I audible, ladies and gentlemen, brother? Tuni yako hapa. Karibu sana. Tuni leo ameamua ataingia. All right, I'm audible. Cindy, Ama? All right, I think I'm audible now. Right? Okay, so basically what I was saying is the reporter. The reporter. The reporter was actually asked a really good question, which was, why can't you guys handle that behind the curtain, privately? Call each other, you have each other's number. Tell him, hey, listen, stop with the shenanigans. Which I think was Sawa. Thank you, Francis Rungu, for joining, and Tuni also. Like Apums. But anyway, yeah, it was a good, fair question. Why the back and forth? Again, I always say this, and I'll tell you why they're having this back and forth, and why this regime is entertaining this nonsense, okay? And also, regardless, continue with this whole charade, okay? It's designed for public consumption. The precise reason why this guy, asked that question, not implication. What's the questionnaire? The interviewer was actually suggesting that this whole back and forth causes emotional instability with the public, okay? Which is meant, it's designed to do so, okay? And I told you guys, remember when Raila was speaking on that that funeral, when he said, "Oh, Gachagua this, Gachagua that," and I told you guys that Gachagua will respond to that because Raila is giving an ammunition for him to actually talk about Raila and the regime in the next opportunity Gachagua will get. And that's exactly what happened. Gachagua went on and said, Raila is, he wants to be a president without responsibility and all these things that people have been saying on X, okay? So he wasn't saying anything new, but it was ammunition for Gachagua to say something, then they rush and put it as headlines, okay? So you see this back and forth. And that's why I'm saying it's I like the question that gentleman asked Murkomen. Why can't you two handle this behind the scenes? I mean, you have his number, he has your number, call each other, ask him what's the problem, hash it out. You don't have to, make headlines. And again, here is where the media also fails us as Kenya. They promote nonsense, political drama. I don't blame them because I say, like I said before, the very political class control the media and they want this political nonsense, drama between Gachagua and the Raila faction, okay? Because it's a fake beef. Now, Vitas are, it's like WWE, what used to be called WWF when I was growing up. Back, nakumbuka in the 80s when we used to watch wrestling, Undertaker na wakina sijui Hogan. Na wengine weo, karibu sana Laban, I hope you're doing well. Like Apple. Imepangwa, ni vita za urongo. Like I said, anyone who usually genuinely threatens the regime of the day, anybody who threatens Ruto regime and the political class will be blackballed. Not only that, if they threaten the whole political class, they will not only be blackballed, they'll be arrested and prosecuted, or their bodies found in Kware River or whatever the case is. River Yala. That is the reality. But Gachagua is saying outlandish things and the media keeps on pumping it. Ruto pia anaenda na respond, Oscar Sudi ana respond, Murkomen responds, EACC responds. It's drama and the media makes it viral because it is designed to do what? To turn the ante up. Ni drama, political drama. It's for your consumption. You, the viewer, nyinyi wananchi, you are the target audience. Okay? Sorry, not Kware River. I meant Kware, whatever the case is. I don't know what I meant, but you know what I meant. Some river somewhere where your body shall be found. That's basically the point I was making. Laban Misiani, thank you very much for the correction. Okay? So that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Okay. It's about that. Now, let's go on. Remember that skip, the people may. The people may showed up out of nowhere. I don't know where this guy came out, but he's back. He's back, and he's Ujamaa. He's making points. I like this guy. I actually like him. He's really, exposing the stupidity behind all this what our political class are actually doing. Here's and I want to play it. I'll get to the main point. I'll get to the main mail. So bear with me. Let's tuangalie. Tukae mstari wa mbele, okay? Like the video. And again, if you want to get in, I'll put the link on, and you can always come in and give your 2 cents if you want. Today I'm in a brilliant mood.
Asante sana kwa majina, naitwa Michael Kojo Otieno ama aka the people shalama the people may. Watu wengi huwa wanijui. Wanatumia sura yangu. Majezi wanatumia sura yangu lakini hawajawahi niona. Leo ndio wananiona live. Huko ndio home. Hapa ndio place. The people shall mandatory. Hata ukiangalia Devolution Conference wamesema Devolution Conference for the people. Wananchi. Alafu ni for prosperity. Si prosperity kwanza. Ni the people kwanza. The people na hiyo ndio nilikuwa naambia ma MPs. Ati wasifikirie eti kama umechaguliwa eti wewe ni MP. Ati sasa wewe unajiona eti wewe ni sagodi lingine eti watu wakuje wakuabudu. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Wewe raia, wewe ndio uko na hiyo haki. Wewe ndio uko na hiyo hatimiliki. Huyu jamaa kazi yake wewe ndio unamlipa pesa. Hata entertainment hakuna pesa yenye anakuletea kwa grao. Sisi ndio tuko na hiyo power, sio hao. Hao wanatekeleza tu.
Nikikuja historia pia youth na leadership, pia ni historia ni Gen Z's may ama ni shall.
Ni lazima juu sisi ndio majority. Sisi ndio wa kuamua, sisi ndio tumesoma. Hakuna maneno ya kubeba chuma na nenda upeleke hizo kwa wrestling. Hapa saa hizi watu wameenda AI na watu wameenda artificial intelligence, watu wanatumia tarakilishi na computer. Imagine majamaa.
No. This is worth repeating. I will repeat it. I don't care. This is a really good point that this gentleman is making. He is saying the people shall, not even may. Basically, he's emphasizing that the people are the ultimate sovereign. Tuache mambo ya kukuninio, teach these politicians as demigods, okay? That's the point he's making. We, the people, have the power, okay? That's the point he's making. He's emphasized. In order for us to change this corrupt system where we adore these politicians as if they are gods among men, we should remove them first. That will be a clear illustration to them and to the world that we should be served by them, not adoring them, where they steal our money and throw us the trinkets of their loot, from their loot. Okay? That's the point he's making. And I will repeat this because it's a very wonderful point. Let's go again.
The people shalama the people may. Watu wengi huwa wanijui. Wanatumia sura yangu. Majezi wanatumia sura yangu lakini hawajawahi niona. Leo ndio wananiona live. Huko ndio home. Hapa ndio place. The people shall mandatory. Hata ukiangalia Devolution Conference wamesema Devolution Conference for the people. Wananchi. Alafu ni for prosperity. Si prosperity kwanza. Ni the people kwanza. The people. Na hiyo ndio nilikuwa naambia ma MPs. Ati wasifikirie eti kama umechaguliwa eti wewe ni MP. Ati sasa wewe unajiona eti wewe ni sagodi mwingine eti watu wakuje wakuabudu. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Wewe raia, wewe ndio uko na hiyo haki. Wewe ndio uko na hiyo hatimiliki. Huyu jamaa kazi yake wewe ndio unamlipa pesa. Hata entertainment hakuna pesa yenye anakuletea kwa grao. Sisi ndio tuko na hiyo power, sio hao. Hao wanatekeleza tu.
Nikikuja historia pia youth na leadership, pia ni historia ni Gen Z's may ama ni shall.
Ni lazima juu sisi ndio majority. Sisi ndio wa kuamua, sisi ndio tumesoma. Hakuna maneno ya kubeba chuma na nini nenda upeleke hizo kwa wrestling. Hapa saa hizi watu wameenda AI na watu wameenda artificial intelligence, watu wanatumia tarakilishi na computer. Imagine majamaa.
Absolutely. This guy is a gem, and I wish people would have paid more attention to what he's saying. Hii mambo ya kushinda ati we are depending on Agachagua, Raila, Uhuru, sijui nani Wamalwa, Matiangi to solve our problem. It will not happen, my friend. Those are people who we delegated this part. We donated this part. Laban anasema, hebu acha nisome nini ya Laban, sijui Laban anasema nini. They are sovereign before they delegate their power. Unfortunately, they donate it to the president, parliament, and judiciary. Yes. Their sovereignty does not stop once they donate that power. Laban, this is what you have to understand. I get what you're saying. I think Laban says, what Laban is implying that they're only sovereign before they donate this power to the, executive led by the president, the legislative, which is the parliament and senate, whatever the case is, then by the judiciary. Their sovereign power is not lost when they delegate this power to these arms of government and all the independent governmental bodies. You understand, Laban? Okay, so their power does not end when they delegate it. Ni kama wewe ni mwenye nyumba, okay, wewe ni mwenye nyumba na umeandika Mboch afanye kazi ya kuninio, ya kuosha nyumba na kuangalia watoto wako na kupikia. Your power as the owner of the house does not stop when you delegate this power to the Mboch to help you do these things. So, given that Mboch analogy, I want to continue to demonstrate to you why we need a revolution. Since the president, parliamentary, the executive, president, head of the executive, parliamentary, which is the is consistent part of the legislative body, and the judiciary have failed, we the people, that's why that man said, we the people have the right to fire these people, all of them, starting with Ruto and the legislative body and the judiciary, whole judiciary. Tell them, hiyo delegation tuliwapatia kazi ya kuosha nyumba na kutupikia hapa, lakini mmefail, mmekataa kufanya hiyo kazi. So, we are going to exercise, we are going to do it ourselves. Since hamtaki kuosha vyombo, hamtaki kuoga, na hamtaki kuoga, hamtaki kuosha vyombo, hamtaki kupiga dasta, hamtaki kupika, hamtaki kuangalia watoto, sasa tunawafukuza job. Tutajifanyia wenyewe, tutawafukuza job. Tokeni. You're no longer, you're fired. Unasikia Labani? So we tell them, okay, we are taking back our power and we are choosing new people. Nyote mmefukuzwa kazi. Because the sovereign power is with the people. Unaelewa Labani? Okay, sawa. Wonderful, wonderful point. Now, this gentleman did not stop there. He was making wonderful points. I like this gentleman. This gentleman is very, very, seems to be very knowledgeable, and I like I liked his thinking. Okay, let me just say that I liked his thinking. I was making very, very good point. Play another video from him. I think he had another one where he, if I can find it. Okay, here it is. All right, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades. Jamani, mufanye dinio. Mkae mstari wa mbele, as my friend would say. Mkae mstari wa mbele na mweke tu like, there's another one. There's another point also he made, which is very, very interesting. Well, very full of truth, as we should
be people-centered.
Sorry, let me.
They think that it is leaders, but the challenge we have with the devolved system of governance is that the devolution governors do not think that devolution should be people-centered. They think that it is leaders-centered. Look at the persons who are invited here. We've come for the devolved system of governance. Are they business persons? Are they mama mbogas na watu wa bodaboda?
Kuna wadau walikuwa naonyesha biashara zao.
Hapana, hao walipatikana katika njia gani? How did you get them? That is the main thing. Juu, acha nikwambie, tusemane tu ukweli. Devolution conferences tumekuwa nazo ngapi? Sisiko mingi. Si kuna wale ambao washikadau ambao wale wanaweza kukuonyesha eti mimi natoka katika jimbo fulani na hii ndio kitu yenye tumetoa. Kitambo Gavana Ngilu alikuwa amesema eti hao watashona manguo, walisikilizana na Machakos. That was a devolved system of governance stride. Governor wa Machakos, Alfred Mutua, built a tarmac road within how many days? 100 days. And he delivered a stadia. What is it that is happening right now? What I expected is that when you come for a devolved system of governance, you are telling us that devolution works. How many tarmac roads have you ever built? Even if it is 100 meters or 200 meters. That is what you need to show us.
Kwa hiyo unasema kwamba wakija wasije tu kutoa ahadi na mapendekezo yao, wasije nimekuja hapa nimefanya hiki na hiki.
Unakuja, tukikuja katika kongamano kama hizi unatuambia mimi zile shule ambazo nimejenga katika niseme miaka 2 nimekuwa nimekaa afisini, bajeti yenye nilipatiwa ilikuwa bajeti kiasi fulani cha hela. Pili, shule ambazo nimejenga ni hizi. Hospitali ambazo nimejenga ni hizi. Mimi kama gavana wenu nimepata niseme takribani shilingi bilioni 14 miaka 2. Nimeweza kuajiri watu kazi namna hii. Na ile pesa yenye nilibaki nayo katika ile tunaita the Public Finance Management Act.
I like this guy. You know what he's saying? Basically, this is he's not attacking Wanga and the rest of Vinya Ndeti and all those clowns that are in Homa Bay, but he's actually not attacking them directly, but he's making the point that these governors are going to spend billions in this convection, whatever the case, devolution, convection, whatever the case is, where I saw Ruto and Choma's Samaki and doing all kind of circus stuff, okay? But he's making the point that you should come and demonstrate when you're coming to talk on a convention like that about devolution. Show up and tell us what's your performance like, so that you can demonstrate to the Republic and your constituency that devolution actually works. Si ati mnaenda hapo mnaimba na Ruto na Choma ninio na mnasema sijui 2 terms sijui nini na mnacheka hapo sijui the problem of the youth is sijui nini. Listen to this guy. I'll play him one more time because what he's saying is very important. And unfortunately, nyinyi kazi yenu mnafurahisha tu na 1 term, sijui 2 term, sijui I don't know, Murkomen, sijui. These are the issues. Sijui mnaanza kuingia sijui intercontinental and intergenerational conclave. Listen to him one more time.
The challenge we have with the devolved system of governance is that the devolution governors do not think that devolution should be people-centered. They think that it is leaders-centered. Look at the persons who are invited here. We've come for the devolved system of governance. Are they business persons? Are they mama mbogas na watu wa bodaboda?
Kuna wadau walikuwa wanaonyesha biashara zao.
Hapana, hao walipatikana katika njia gani? How did you get them? That is the main thing. Juu, acha nikwambie, tusemane tu ukweli. Devolution conferences tumekuwa nazo ngapi? Siziko mingi. Si kuna wale ambao washikadau ambao wale wanaweza kukuonyesha eti mimi natoka katika jimbo fulani na hii ndio kitu yenye tumetoa. Kitambo Gavana Ngilu alikuwa amesema eti hao watashona manguo, walisikilizana na Machakos. That was a devolved system of governance stride. Governor wa Machakos, Alfred Mutua, built a tarmac road within how many days? 100 days. And he delivered a stadia. What is it that is happening right now? What I expected is that when you come for a devolved system of governance, you are telling us that devolution works. How many tarmac roads have you ever built, even if it is 100 meters or 200 meters? That is what you need to show us.
Kwa hiyo unasema kwamba wakija wasije tu kutoa ahadi na mapendekezo yao, wasije nimekuja hapa nimefanya hiki na hiki.
Unakuja, tukikuja katika kongamano kama hizi unatuambia mimi zile shule ambazo nimejenga katika niseme miaka 2 nimekuwa nimekaa afisini, bajeti yenye nilipatiwa ilikuwa bajeti kiasi fulani cha hela. Pili, shule ambazo nimejenga ni hizi. Hospitali ambazo nimejenga ni hizi. Mimi kama gavana wenu nimepata niseme takribani shilingi bilioni 14 miaka 2. Nimeweza kuajiri watu kazi namna hii. Na ile pesa yenye nilibaki nayo katika ile tunaita the public.
Okay, I think he has made his point and I played it twice, so you probably got the point. The point he's making is that, hey, listen, these conventions, gubernatorial conventions or whatever, devolution conventions that happen, whether it's in Homa Bay or whatever the case is, should be a demonstration of how devolution works. Not only how it works, but it should be celebrating its victories. When I say victories, I'm talking about how does devolution helped works. Is it working for the people? Is it something functional? Now, those governors should be the ones who are demonstrating by highlighting the kind of developments they've implemented working in tandem with the national government. And, so if they go to, if the Homa Bay governor stands up, she should, start telling us, hey, listen, the hospitals here, we've built 3 hospitals. The infrastructural development here has also gone up. We built a bridge there that was, people were drowning, and the mamba was eating people. Now we are safe. We have a nice bridge. We have a 4-level hospital there, and our level 1 hospital which we don't have in Kenya. But I'm just saying, so to then Wavinya Ndeti, if she stands up, she should tell us, hey, Machakos imejenga pia hospitali mpya, where we have 2 whatever, it's 3,000 capacity. Inaweza kuleta watu kutoka hata South Africa wakuja wapate matibabu hapa. Hii imejaa na aminio madawa. So those are the things that they should be highlighting, the developments that have been as a result of devolution. Not standing there celebrating individuals like you see the Wavinya Ndetas and Gladys Wanga and William Samoei Ruto. That's what the point this man is making. I like how this man is, the points that he's making, okay? So, but again, these are the kind of things that we don't attend. We do not care about things like this. We are only fascinated with one term: cousins. Ruto versus Gachagua. Raila versus, I don't know, Amalo. Sifuna and his nonsense. Sijui nini. Things that actually can help your life. Amtaki kusikia. Nyinyi mnataka entertainment. And you'll talk for 15 hours discussing about your fantasies, about how you want to see Ruto ashindwe 2027. Fantasizing about how you want Gachagua to be president and, I don't know, become the president of the world or whatever the case is, instead of talking about issues that actually can liberate you. From the 2 clips that I've talked about, this guy highlighted things that actually really affect you directly. In order to wash this system, you need the people who constitute the sovereigns of the nation, who should be getting rid of these useless people that we've delegated this power to. As I've explained, our power is not considered lost when we delegate this power to these individuals. But here is where I'm coming. I'm coming to the main mail, because the main mail says Kenya does not need a national therapy session in the name of intergenerational conclave or dialogue. That's an nonsensical way of dealing with the issue. It's not like we don't know what needs to be done in Kenya. We know what needs to be done. We know the individuals who need to take action for us to see what. But a very interesting point that was kind of implied by this guy's initial submission, which is he makes the point that we glorify, tuko na culture where we miss the ninio, we miss the point. We don't understand that the power rests with the people, but instead we glamorize, glorify, okay, these individuals who are supposed to serve us. It's a culture that has been devolved. Every community worship its tribal chieftain or anyone from their particular community who seems to be influential. Influential solely because he has the means to pay his way to fame, therefore standing for an elected seat to represent us. Then once he's elected, he goes and meets with other regional leaders na wanapanga vile watatu kalisha chini. So the problem is devolve also. Inaanza mashinani. Sisi huko pale tu huko mtaa yetu na hizo ma constitution ambayo tumetoka. You understand? Now, I'll bring you to another discussion, because this is a discussion where I'll bring it to, okay? And I think it was a very, very wonderful discussion. I think it was 2-3 days ago. It was by Caswell, who was talking to Professor Ogola. Now, Caswell was full of hot air. But we shall kind of come through that hot air that he was talking, because it kind of addressed what I'm talking about. It's connected, okay? Because Caswell took the position of his party, which is, I think the country needs a dialogue. We need to sit down. We should go to somewhere in, I don't know where we invite youth and everyone is given a chance to talk, so people can come down and we can come up with a resolution, and it will be all dandy and fine. And we can go home happy ever after, knowing that we have a discussion and we've come up with a solution in this conclave intergenerational discussions. So here is where I'll take you, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Bear with me. I will touch on it kidogo. I will sitaenda deep sana because of time, but I just want to give you some highlights of this discussion. Then we can hit on the main meal, because it kind of is tied in with the main meal, which is Kenya does not need what? A national therapy session. We need a revolution. A revolution is a total overhaul of the system. A revolution, don't stop thinking about revolution as a violent confrontation between the government and the people. No. A revolution is simply the people exercising their sovereign power to remove the government that they put in place. Hallelujah. Shabba, sabba, ba, boom. Can you wake up like up? But can I repeat? A revolution in the Kenyan context was illustrated by the Gen Z. It simply means the people who are the sovereigns, who are the one who put Ruto, Raila, and Gachagua in office. The people coming together, tribeless, partyless, leaderless, saying we are going to exercise our sovereign power by removing the Martha Karuas of this world, the Wamalwas of this world, the Railas of this world, the Rutos of this world, the Gachaguas of this world, because when we voted them in, we were having expectations for them to advance our interest, to act on our behalf as our representatives, okay? But they failed to deliver. So the people, Shabbas, the people are taking back their power. And they can do that without a bullet. They can do it as peaceful as marching to State House with a bottle of water and a flag. That is enough. Hakuna mambo ya one term, sijui 2 term, sijui 10 bila break, sijui half term, sijui nini, and this Wamunyoro nonsense between Murkomen and sijui nani, Sifuna talking every day, Ongeri, sijui nani, Wamatia. We don't need all that nonsense. It's the people who are sovereign coming together and deciding that all these noisemakers like Atwoli, all these fakers who are holding these positions, whether it's through the judiciary, through the executive branch, or through the legislative body, and all the independent, so-called independent governmental institutions are going to be fired by these people who have the sovereign authority to rule, to decide, to charter their way forward. Understand that. Go read the Constitution Article 1. Then go down subsection 1 and 2. Read it. Read it if you understand English. Let me go to this discussion before I lose my mind when I think about the power that people have. But you know how we get divided? Do you know how we get divided? Do you want to know how we get divided? Listen to this video very carefully. I want you to pay attention to this video, how they divide us. Pay attention. Pay. Uko ready to pay attention? It's free. Pay attention. It's free. Hii video, it's free. Pay attention. Lipa hiyo attention. It's free. It's free, my friend. It's free. Ndio hii. Hold up. Wacha niwaeleze vile ile method Ruto anatumia kwa gonga na ile Ruto nani anatumia Gachagua kwa gonga. Angalia. Pay attention to this video.
Don't argue with someone who refuses to comply. Just silence. It's the most cunning way to control people. Don't argue with someone.
The most cunning way to control people. Listen to me. Listen to me.
It's the most cunning way to control people. Don't argue with someone who refuses to comply. Just sideline them. Reward the obedient so the defiant realize their absence means nothing. Make their tasks tougher until they understand their place. Break your workforce into small teams and let each group elect its own leader with a pay bump. Watch how fast loyalty shifts. The lure of a higher salary will dissolve even the strongest alliances soon. Instead of uniting against management, employees compete to win favor from above. The smartest tactic? Wrap personal gain in the disguise of generosity. The sharpest way to run a business? Plant dreams in employees' minds and let them chase those dreams on their own. With the poor, dangle the promise of wealth. When people are desperate to survive, they'll do whatever it takes to feel secure. Use desire with the lonely. Offer comfort with the foolish. Sell them grand illusions. In the end, the real power isn't money or status, it's mindset. If you often feel out of your depth, struggling to make clear decisions or navigate tricky situations, it's not because you lack ability. It's because you haven't learned the playbook.
Go repeat that at your own time. Hiyo nimewachezea mkacheze and repeat muone hiyo kitu anasema. That playbook is being used on Kenyans by the political oligarchs. Now, very quickly, I want to show you Ninium because of time. Very quickly, I want to show you this discussion that will happen between Marco Oure and CT and Ogola and Mbuvi. They have a channel up there. It's a radio station, I guess. I'm going to use the Ninio for education purpose only. Okay. So, but anyway, here it was the part of the discussion. I won't play the whole thing because of time, but here so you can get exactly what they were speaking about. Let's go.
I hit the peak of my fame on 8th of August.
Right.
Not because of what I said, not because of it's because people saw me jumping into a media house building.
Yeah, I saw that picture and I was like, this guy needs to run for Kenya.
You see that?
Yeah.
That is the thing that made me famous. It was not the things I was saying. That is what said, oh, this one has a lot of promise as a Gen Z. When a state is attempting at my life, that is when that was one funny to the two. It was the moment that now people say this one now he has promise. So if that is what I was saying at the peak when we had the nation's attention, and I got really bashed, by the way. People really told me these are stupid ideas, and now I'm just listening to the people and saying, after all that has happened, and by the way, Prof is a man I respect because when he still used to lecture at Strathmore, he came and gave a lecture. There's a friend of his who used to be one of my lecturers. So he lectured me when I was in 3rd year. And so for me, the relationship I have with Prof is one of deep respect because I have seen and he has been consistent in the things that he has been saying. But now personally, I'm looking at it as I cannot impose my will upon the Kenyans. If I were to have it my way in an ideal sense, that's what would have happened. But be it as it may, it has gotten to the point where, and as we always say, we cannot fool all the people all the time. Why is it that why are the people leaving this work to Prof? Yes, because it is him who has suffered the brunt of bad governance when he's had a case that I see people mocking him for. When he has been fighting for institutional reforms, he has refused to settle and do all those kinds of things. I'm also just saying, I will work with Kenyans at this space because I cannot think of myself as wiser than the nation. Yeah. So this dialogue, for me, what it does is it allows us to sit down in this broken system,
right,
until we can find the critical mass again for the people to reform the entire thing. All I'm saying is I would rather sit down and have this dialogue, right, as flawed as the process might be, than see more people die in the streets.
Right.
Casbal, you've actually introduced a new brand of politics.
In what way?
You are a philosophical politician. because you waxed very eloquently on the thinking and philosophy of theories of how it is that one should position themselves.
You just call them theory.
I call them theories because they are theories.
Anyway, so I can save you some time. Kasmuel's main argument in this discussion is that he would rather work within ODM party and embrace this whole idea of having a dialogue because it's a more peaceful way, and people will, have some sense of it's kind of a catharsis, release what's inside, what's boiling inside you, your frustrations. That's why people have dialogues. Okay, that's his argument. That going to protest is a messy affair. People die when you go to protest. Okay, so he'd rather have a dialogue, which is much better, and he will not impose his will by telling people to go protest. Now, the unfortunate thing about this discussion is that Professor didn't actually call him out on that. Neither did CT or the other host. I think his name is Mbuvi, which really irritated me because there's so much nonsense in this argument. Okay, now telling people or encouraging people to go out to protest is not asking people to go die in the streets. Okay, it's your constitutional right to protest, to picket, if you're not satisfied with the services that you should be getting from the government that you chose and you entrusted to actually deliver. Going to protest in a public space is not asking to be shot to death. You are protected by the Constitution. You are allowed to go to the streets and protest against a government that is not working for you. That is enshrined in the Constitution. So for this pinhead to come out there, an empty suit that he is, to come out and say that, oh, I would rather dialogue and find a solution. Dialogue? We know the solution. Why are we dialoguing? It's like, I know the solution is the roof of in my house is leaking. Why should I have a dialogue with Baraza la Wazee on how to fix the roof while I know I probably need a new roof and I have the money to fix it and I know I have the means to fix it and I know how to fix it? Why should I have a Baraza la Wazee meeting to have a seat, intergenerational conclave, to discuss how I shall fix this roof while the roof is leaking, almost falling over me? Now, tukisema ati sijui going to protest now, going to protest as all of a sudden, going to protest means sending people to death. No. The people who go to protest should actually be protected by the government, not shot to death. This is what this charlatan, this empty suit, this flat-footed pretender is trying to convince you. But no one in the media is actually calling out this charlatan. That's why he's being paraded around for his eloquence. What eloquence is there? You can be as eloquent as you want, but what you're saying is nonsense. And no one is calling him out for this. That is what is frustrating about this. Credit to Ogola. Professor Ogola actually tried and caught him on some points. But this guy is getting away with murder. You cannot let that argument roll like that. We should dialogue and find solutions. We should find solutions. We know the solutions.
City is just telling me yes,
no, he's done well. I myself was taken up by the poetry. just listening to this idyllic situation that he's talking about. In theory, it works. In practice, in the Kenyan context, my friend, there is this simple question. Does any politician want to be really understand what the Kenyan public wants? Do they actually know? So that when you give it to them, they will tell you, yes, this is what we wanted. Do they know?
Yes.
Really, what is it that they want?
But you know, the things that Kenyans want are rather obvious. They just want.
I want you to tell me these obvious things.
Reforms in education. They want to get a good education. They want nutrition and food security. They want an end to corruption. I'll give you top 4. And I said education and employment.
And how do we realize these things?
You know, it is not difficult. That's why I'm saying these things do not exist in a vacuum.
I agree with you.
Policy-wise, these things should have been realized.
Yes. But they haven't been realized.
They have not been realized.
Precisely.
Despite the fact that we have a live constitution and we have good politicians. Now, you need to understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that
I've understood you perfectly.
And we have good politicians.
Yes, we do, whom we elected.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Are they not the same people who are supposed to give us these things that we know we want?
They are.
Okay, so now, if we know what we want, why do we elect people who, by experience, by what we've seen, will not give you what you want? And we keep electing them, and then we say we know what we want. Don't you
see? CT had a chance to pin him. He should have asked him, because he actually got him really good. He said, do these politicians know what the people want? And he said, yes. And say, what are they? And he named them, corruption, whatever, or blah, blah, blah. Then he said, if they know what they want, the question should have been, what is the whole purpose of having a dialogue? What are you going to dialoguing about? If you know the problem is corruption, tribalism, and all the stuff, the healthcare, lack of jobs, you know the list, okay? Why are we still dialoguing? Having an intergenerational conclave discussion about things that you know needs to be done. And he has told us you have good politicians who are supposed to actually be implementing these things. You see how CT missed that question?
Is there a contradiction there?
I don't think there's a contradiction. The contradiction maybe arises from the point at which we have the discussion.
So now they want to shift the blame into the voters. Because CT ran away from you see the mischief here. They highlight the problem. They mention that these politicians understand what the problem we are facing in Kenya. But he says, we, the people, are the ones who keep on voting them in. What? So it's our anyway.
Following, and Prof has really held his fort quite well.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I will continue with this discussion. I will leave it here because I have to, okay? Because of time, I will have to leave it here, but we'll continue with this. It was actually a nice discussion. Go to that, let me just shout out this radio station, I think, because I'm using their stuff, so I have to give them kudos. It was actually a good discussion all in all, even though I felt like CT didn't want to pin Casmuel down. I get it. They want these pinheads who have influence to come back so that they can have views and have this discussion. But the name of the channel is Radio Generation Kenya, and the name of the video is From Protest to Dialogues: Who Wins, Who Loses, and What's the End Game? Fred Ogola and Casmuel Makoure. Check it out on YouTube. It's a really nice discussion. Go subscribe to that channel too. I think they're a fairly new channel, but they will be, going up within no time. Wonderful discussions. I'm glad to see CT. CT's, I personally like listening to him because he kind of understands how to catch these people, but he gives them rope to not to hang themselves, but to survive, okay? Lifeline, to get out of it. Like, he was about to just nail Makoure, but he decided to actually go, it's the voters to blame, not these politicians. I like how he asked it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, this is the first series, actually the second one. Second, which does Kenya, because a dialogue suggests that Kenyans, we need national therapy. We don't need that. We don't need a dialogue to air out our problems. So Kenya does not need a national therapy session. We need a revolution. I'll come back with more probably tomorrow or maybe at the coming days. So do me a favor. If you're going to watch this on repeat, like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the good stuff. If you're very subscribed, please put your notification button on. So every time I come in, you can always get the notification that I'm in. My name is Kenya Revolutionary. I'll leave it here. Peace and blessings. I'm out. Peace.